Oh. If you haven't figured out from my background, I pretty much have a bike shop in my garage. A lot of the tools that I have are from Park. And some of my favorites include the WH-1, which everyone has. I think I have 4 of them in multiple toolboxes. But if you watch my other videos, the one that you're going to see the most from Park is the Wheel Holder 1, or WH-1. I have a love-hate relationship with this thing, and that's why I put in the video Calvin Do Better, because I think there can be significant improvements made to this already fantastic tool. Park gives you the option of using the bolt holes and permanently mounting this to a countertop. Of course, I don't have that much space, so I put it on my vise and use it there, then put it away when I'm done with it. I use the WH-1 to mount cassettes and rotors, and in particular to do service for tires, tubes, road, mountain, and gravel. I would say I get use of this tool at least once or twice a week. And of course, if you look at my YouTube videos, it's probably in about half of them. Park has an excellent video on how to use this, so I don't want to recreate it. But for the old school quick release type wheels, the way you mount it, either vertically at an angle of, I believe that's 60 degrees, or flat, is using the grooves, and I just tighten my quick release on, hold this, and then that's how you mount an old school quick release wheel. If you want to put the more common now through axle wheels on there, what you do is you put this pin in. That's set for a 12 mil wheel. Then you have sleeves for 15 and 20 mil. And you just slide your wheel on. This is way easier and quicker to see if your tire is properly seated than putting it in a truing stand or putting it in the frame of the bike. One comment I'll make to people out there, if you want to just make your own with some tools or whatever, this 60-degree angle is what I use about 95% of the time. When you mount the through axle pin in, you have to tighten it down. I'm using my trusty Knipex here, probably a video to come up on how great these are. And that's tight. So say for instance I want to do something that requires a little bit of effort, like popping the bead off of a mountain bike tire with an insert in it. Let's mount that in there. Or mounting a new tire. Sometimes you got to give it a fair bit of force. And when you do, if you're pushing the thing, it will actually, the pin will come off no matter how tight you make this. Now you can put another bolt or nut in there. There's lots of videos on that. But the design is fundamentally flawed. And the reason is they're still trying to make this compatible with quick releases. And I understand if you're a bike shop, but a consumer like me who only has one quick release amongst the 12 bikes I've got here in my garage, let's go through axle and make this through axle dedicated. So this needs to be redesigned. There's many different hacks to deal with this issue, but what I've done is I've just taken a piece of the top of a dual door closet assembly, and I make it, this will cooperate, so I can jam it in there. Let's bring this close. So that the pin can't actually move on you once you tighten it down. Some other people have put spacers that they've molded in here, etc. Reefing on this, I've had to bend this back a couple of times. You can see now it's even tilted forward, although the vise is not completely level due to the slope of my garage. Additionally, if I was a welder, I'd be pretty ashamed of myself for these welds, although I don't think it makes a difference to the strength of the WH-1. I haven't mentioned to it before, the way you hold the sleeves is not very secure, especially if you're taking this off and placing it in a toolbox. Things tend to fall off it, like that washer, that split that I'm now missing. When you mount it in a vise, obviously this is cantilevered a fair bit if you're working on the wheel out here, and this is susceptible to bending. It's completely not applicable when you're using the 4 bolts that mounted on the edge of your counter. There should be no issues there. A simple question for you, Park. How many small YouTube channels have got some sort of hack to fix this pin slippage issue? There's lots of them. That in itself should tell you that there's an opportunity for improvement with this tool and it needs a redesign. Park, this is a fantastic tool. In its current iteration, I would still recommend buying it for any high-end home mechanic shop, but you can do better. And obviously, this fatal flaw with the pin should be fixed in the next iteration of this tool. And with that, like, subscribe. If you got a comment or you disagree with me, put it down below. We can have a discussion. And with that, please ride hard.